Trump was never the problem. This video is not about scandals, not about tweets, not about personalities. It's about a system that stopped working, how attention replaced legitimacy, how anger became power, and how democracy can keep functioning while quietly failing the people inside it. This is not the story of one man. It's the story of the system that made him possible. Donald Trump was never a mistake. He was a stress test that revealed how fragile American democracy had become, how dependent it was on attention, and how easily legitimacy could collapse under pressure. Trump didn't break the system. The system failed him, and then made him powerful. For decades, Americans were told a comforting story, that their institutions were strong, that their system corrected itself, that progress, while slow, was inevitable. Trump didn't challenge that story. He shattered it. And the most disturbing part is this: the system didn't resist him. It adapted. Long before Trump announced his candidacy, something fundamental had already collapsed. Trust. Trust in media. Trust in government. Trust in expertise. Trust in the idea that effort would be rewarded fairly. Trump didn't invent this distrust. He recognized it, and then he monetized it politically. He understood something career politicians still refuse to accept. Facts no longer persuade. Data no longer convinces. Moral superiority no longer inspires. Emotion does. Anger does. Trump didn't speak like a president. He spoke like an accusation against elites who promised prosperity and delivered inequality, against institutions that demanded obedience but offered no protection, against a system that kept functioning while people's lives quietly declined. Factories disappeared, wages stagnated, debt exploded, and when people asked why, they were given abstractions. Global markets, structural change, long-term adjustment. Trump gave them something simpler. Someone to blame. Immigrants, China, the media, Washington insiders. Clear enemies, clear targets. In modern politics, clarity beats truth every time. Critics fixate on Trump's lies, but lies only matter in systems that still value truth. By the time Trump arrived, truth had already lost its authority. What mattered was confidence, volume, repetition. Trump didn't argue. He declared. And declarations feel powerful in a world where people feel powerless. This is why scandal never destroyed him. It strengthened him. Every outrage confirmed his narrative, that the system was against him, and by extension, against his supporters. The media believed exposure would neutralize him. Instead, it made him unavoidable. Trump became content. Cable news needed him for ratings. Social media needed him for engagement. Opponents needed him as a villain. So the system amplified him. Relentlessly. Trump did not survive despite the media. He survived because of it. This is the uncomfortable truth Americans avoid. Trump was not an outsider breaking the machine. He was the machine functioning exactly as designed. An attention economy rewards extremity. Nuance disappears. Complexity collapses. Trump mastered this environment instinctively. Every insult was strategic. Every norm violation was deliberate. Norms protect institutions, not people. Breaking them signaled authenticity. And authenticity, real or not, is political currency. As politics turned into identity warfare, democracy lost its grounding. Debate became humiliation. Compromise became weakness. Opposition became treason. At that point, democracy still existed procedurally, but not morally. Elections continued. Institutions remained standing. But belief was gone. And without belief, democracy is hollow. Removing Trump from office did not restore stability. Because Trump was never the core problem, the incentives that created him remain untouched. Economic power is still concentrated. Political access is still restricted. Legitimacy is still measured by visibility, not competence. Another Trump does not need to look like Trump. It only needs to speak with certainty. That is the danger. Trump proved that democracy can operate mechanically while failing its citizens completely. He didn't convince Americans to abandon institutions. He arrived after they already had. He simply gave their frustration a voice, a symbol, a direction. This is why dismissing Trump supporters as ignorant is a mistake. Their response was rational. They supported the only figure willing to openly attack a system that had stopped working for them. Trump didn't promise solutions. He promised retaliation. Against elites. Against experts. Against a future that felt predetermined and unfair. Revenge is emotionally satisfying. Truth is not. This is Trump's real legacy. Not chaos, normalization. Normalization of permanent conflict. Normalization of distrust. Normalization of politics without accountability. The real question is not whether Trump damaged American democracy. The real question is why democracy was so fragile to begin with. Strong systems do not collapse under pressure. They collapse when legitimacy disappears. Trump didn't break the system. He exposed how little was holding it together. And until that reality is confronted, Trump is not the end of the story. He is the warning.